Hello folks, Captain Ed speaking. Welcome aboard of this flight from Dildo, Newfoundland, tracking toward the loose bottom. We're gonna call at the Shitterton with the potential detours to Twatt or Penistone, depending on the weather. We are going to experience some turbulence, so fasten your seatbelt and enjoy your flight.
Yo, hello folks, we are Dead here. If you've been on the channel for a while, you know I played already Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 in full virtual reality. And I already said it was an incredible experience and I freaking loved it. But back then I was sitting completely static in a normal gaming chair with my homemade HOTA setup. For the time, it did the job. However, today we are diving into Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, which I got on the recent Steam summer sale, and honestly I did not expect much from it, as I thought it was basically Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 with a facelift. I am glad I was totally wrong, because paired with my Yo Motion Simulator, the experience reached its absolute peak, and let me tell you why that is the case. You might say, yeah daddy, of course it's gonna be awesome if you use a multi-axis motion simulator, and I say, of course un cazzo, because it's not obvious at all. It's awesome if you have the iron will of spending the time tuning this machine for every freaking plane, otherwise this thing is going to launch you into orbit. But anyhow, despite the fact that sitting inside a 1-to-1 scale virtual cockpit and looking out of the window was not new to me in VR, feeling the actual physical movement of the plane, well, this bridged that final gap. And if you followed me for a while, you know that I'm not shitting you. It isn't just a game anymore, it's a freaking device that will teleport you everywhere in the world, from surviving brutal races to casually exploring the world or your neighborhood. The absolute freedom of this setup, it's insane.
Oh man, can you please stop using that YouTuber terminology? Insane. What the fuck are you talking about? It's true, and if you don't believe in, just fucking try. Oh, minchia, se sei pesante, ma vaffanculo.
Okay, where was I? Oh yes. So where this dual setup truly shows its worth is when you push the physics to the absolute limit. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 introduces intense new air races and acrobatic low-altitude challenges. When you pull a high G bank in a stunt plane, your eye struck the checkpoint ahead and the motion platform pitches back to pin you into your seat. Your heart actually starts hammering in your chest. You will think you're there, so your rational brain will not understand you're playing a freaking video game. Honestly, getting thrown around by this motion rig feels a lot like being a passenger in a Fiat Panda rushing down a narrow alleyway in Naples. It's absolutely beautiful, but you pray every saint you know, and the Madonna and Porconi will fly out your mouth even if you don't know any Italian. The precision required for the new landing challenges is on a completely different level now, and where you're fighting crosswinds, you will feel every bump, every correction, and every hard touchdown right in your spine. If you don't land it perfectly, the rig lets you know. It's like a slap from an angry nonna. But it's not all the heart attacks and tight corners. Sometimes the magic of a VR motion rig is just setting the autopilot, relaxing and looking out the window at a world that is visually stunning. Physically turning your head to watch the Emperor's Palace or Sky Tree in Tokyo, tracking the winding canals of Venice, looking down at the capital of the old world Rome and its monuments, or the historic rooftop of Florence. Holy shit, the sheer scale of the engine in VR is a masterpiece. True that some buildings look like shit, but they are less ugly than your mama.
Sorry, what was that for? Yeah, I had to put a joke in there. Don't worry about it. Don't bring me into your shit, please. Vai a cagare.
And it's not just the cities, believe me. The way this game renders the natural, raw beauty of the planet is mind-blowing. So when you glide over vast mountain ranges, deep canyons or pristine coastlines, you aren't just looking at the texture map. You look out of the cockpit and see the jagged edges of a mountain peak passing right your wingtip. The motion rig reacts to the subtle thermal currents coming off the valleys below, giving you this incredible sense of weight and global presence. It genuinely feels like you are exploring places you might never get to see with your own eyes in real life. And yet, despite all of these infinite possibilities, and despite being able to stand in a virtual cockpit and look down at the grandest landmarks and natural wonders on Earth, do you know what I find myself doing more than anything else? I find myself setting the coordinates right back to my hometown in the south of Italy. My parents still live down there, and recently we lost my nonna. She was the very last of my grandparents, the final piece of that generation of my family. When I fly over my little village, I half expect to see my nonna to look up, see my plane, and yell at me that I look too skinny from up there. Anyone who has lost someone close knows how it feels. You just want a way to feel close to them again. So I fly here. I bring the plane down low over what is supposed to be a house, and sure, the buildings aren't perfectly realistic. The AI generation doesn't know the exact shape of a house, or the color of our paint, or the tiles of our roof, but the layout of the streets, the shape of the hills, the way the light hits the landscape is more or less where it belongs. When I played the old flight simulator in VR years ago without the motion rig, it was already a beautiful, deeply immersive experience, but it still lacked that final physical connection. Now, as I look out of the virtual window of this cockpit, tracking the streets of my childhood with my own eyes, while the rig tilts gently underneath me and perfectly mimicking the slow, peaceful banking of the wings, it adds an entirely new layer of realism. It shifts from just a visual simulation to a genuine physical memory. It feels like I'm actually there, paying a visit, looking down from above. It's a strange, deeply nostalgic feeling that only a setup like this was able to create. Flight Simulator was already a legendary piece of software, but when you couple next-gen VR visual with the physical motion feedback, it ceases to be a simulator and becomes a memory machine. It lets you chase adrenaline across the world, laugh at the weirdest corner of the globe, and somehow find your way back home when you need it most. I want to know from you guys in the comments below, if you could hop in this VR cockpit right now, where is the first place you would fly? Would you head straight for a famous landmark, or would you fly straight over your own childhood home? Let me know. Thank you to my channel members for their continued support. If this video resonated with you, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel for more high immersion setups, and consider hitting the join button to support our community. Thank you very much for flying with me today, folks. We are dead, signing out.